Take a moment. This will be an iconic image. Donald Trump like you've never seen him before. His mugshot taken this evening at a jail in Georgia. Tonight, the former U.S. president surrenders again. Booked at the Fulton County Jail. What's next in Trump's legal battles as he fights his way towards the Republican nomination? A tense standoff in BC on the highway into the fire zone.
I looked at it truly in horror and I said, oh, this is going to be bad.
And with just days until school starts, Quebec confirms it's short thousands of teachers. What does that mean for the kids?
This is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
Donald Trump's long and complicated political legacy is already full of lawsuits and indictments, but what happened tonight at the Fulton County Jail in Georgia is a clear standout moment. For the very first time in all his legal woes, the former U.S. president was forced to pose for a mugshot. So is it a humiliating moment for the man who once ran the country, or a helpful one as he vies for another shot at the top job? Paul Hunter is watching this with us tonight from Washington. So, Paul, seeing that mugshot really underscores just how historic this is.
Yeah, what a moment indeed, Adrian. And with the mugshot comes an inmate number. And so, Donald Trump, 45th President of the United States, is now Georgia inmate number P01135809.
His journey tracked almost every step of the way. Donald Trump landed in Georgia, set to make U.S. political history again. And here it is. From a jailhouse just north of the airport, the 45th President of the United States ordered to face the camera for a mugshot. Without a doubt, a remarkable image. All day outside the jail, mostly pro-Trump demonstrators mixed with hardcore security. After all, never before has this happened with any U.S. president, let alone one so divisive as Trump.
The death of our country.
Could be. So many in this country now left gobsmacked.
Really just a remarkable moment that a president has behaved in such a way that that sort of treatment would even be required.
Trump joins a lengthy list of others who've now also surrendered in this case, former lawyers, advisors, and his one-time White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, all accused in Georgia of scheming to overturn the 2020 presidential election results in that state. Back at the jail, Trump, who right now is also dealing with 3 other serious legal challenges, was released on $200,000 bail. If found guilty in this case, he'd face mandatory prison time. And yes, through it all, he remains the leading contender to carry the Republican nomination next year for the White House. At this week's debate for some of the other candidates, almost all of them said they'd support Trump if he wins. One who did not was former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie.
His character matters, the truth matters, and that his conduct is below, well below, what we should expect from a president of the United States.
But the real question, how many Republican voters feel the same way? After his release, Trump himself was defiant.
We did nothing wrong at all, and we have every right, every single right, to challenge an election that we think is dishonest, that we think is very dishonest.
So, Paul, what a striking evening. Trump's mugshot, hardly the only development in the case.
Yeah, not only did he surrender and get that mugshot, Adrian, but he also made a big change to his legal team, dropping his lead lawyer who just recently negotiated his bail and bringing in a new one. Reasons unknown. Look, these remain very serious charges, Adrian, normally the kind reserved for organized crime. His defiance is clear, but so too the case against him.
All right, Paul Hunter in Washington, thank you.
You're welcome.
Vladimir Putin has broken his silence on the apparent death of his friend turned foe, Yevgeny Prigozhin. There's no confirmation he's dead yet, but U.S. officials now say the mercenary leader was likely killed in yesterday's plane crash. And as Briar Stewart tells us, some Russians have their own theories.
One by one, the bodies were carried out from the crash site, all under a heavy police presence. Russia says all 10 people on board the downed jet were killed, including the head of the Wagner mercenary group, Yevgeny Prigozhin. It took President Vladimir Putin more than 24 hours to comment on a man who was once part of his inner circle, now deemed a traitor. He praised him for being a talented businessman, then said he was a man with a complicated fate and he made serious mistakes in life. It was a bizarre scene, Putin offering condolences for a man many believe he ordered killed because of a short-lived mutiny he launched in June. Witnesses reported hearing at least one blast and saw the plane lose a wing.
It looks like from the footage, which is come from multiple sources, that there's been either a catastrophic failure mid-air, which is unusual, especially for these kind of jets, or there's been some sort of explosive event.
There are reports U.S. officials believe the plane crashed because of an intentional explosion, but they said little publicly beyond this.
And again, our initial assessment, based on a variety of factors, is that he was likely killed.
On the streets of Moscow, some weren't convinced about the news of Prigozhin's death. This could be, I think, a game, said one man. Prigozhin was in fact a master of illusion, said another. Maybe he didn't die. But his supporters are mourning him, along with N.W.T, a Wagner commander who was known as Prigozhin's right-hand man. The crash appears to have taken out the leadership of the ruthless military group whose members are scattered across Belarus and Africa. It was in Africa where Prigozhin claimed to be earlier this week. There has been a lot of speculation about how someone who so publicly challenged the Kremlin seemed to be able to come and go as he pleased. But now it appears that the punishment Putin once promised may have been carried out. Stewart, CBC News, London.
Turning to the wildfires in BC, and some good news for evacuees in the Kelowna area. More people can begin going home.
This is really exciting news. I can tell you at the fire hall, the mood is very, very high and very, very positive this morning.
Officials say the fires in Kelowna and Lake Country are now considered as being held, and a final sweep is being done of impacted areas to remove any hazards. But further north in the Shuswap region, there's still no timeline for when the evacuation orders could be lifted. As John Hernandez shows us, that has led to some tense moments.
People are restricted from their homes, restricted from their livelihood.
They called themselves the Convoy of Truth and Freedom. About 20 of them descended on this roadblock, demanding to be let into the wildfire evacuation zone, saying they wanted to deliver supplies.
Their intention was to cross that evacuation line.
In the middle of the standoff, the BC Wildfire Service posted on social media saying it planned to pull crews out of the area out of fear for their safety.
I looked at it truly in horror and I said, oh, this is going to be bad.
District Representative Jay Simpson, who is in the evacuation zone, says he pleaded with BC Wildfire to stay.
That is not me. That's not our community. It's not where we wanted to go.
After speaking with police, BC Wildfire deleted its post.
The choice was made in an effort to not give something steam that didn't and doesn't deserve to have it.
The incident, a flashpoint amid ongoing tensions in BC's Shuswap region, where 11,000 people are on evacuation order and the fire still burns out of control. Many have stayed to fight the fire themselves, claiming the area is over-policed and underserved by wildfire crews. Still, RCMP say the protesters weren't from the area.
We don't know what their intentions may be, and in addition to that, it's just clearly just not safe.
Residents on both sides of the barricade are frustrated.
Let the emergency crews do what they need to do. Just sit there and keep everybody safe. This is where I saw most of the action was right here.
Sorrento resident Daniel Shoemaker works in the fire zone.
But if you're not from that community, stay out. You have no right being over there.
After days of telling people in the evacuation zone to leave, the province recently pledged to work with them. Many hope this latest mishap won't set that progress back. John Hernandez, CBC News, Sorrento.
And in the Northwest Territories, officials are warning residents they could be fined if they return to areas still under evacuation orders.
We're talking huge fires in every community, and we're trying to make sure that these communities are safe, so when they come back home, they will come back to a home.
Officials also reiterated the fire has been held at bay and is unlikely to reach Yellowknife in the next 72 hours, but they couldn't say when residents are likely to return. Now to Nova Scotia, where many are still dealing with the aftermath of wildfires back in the spring, including one that counts as the largest in the province's history. Hundreds of homes were destroyed, along with more than 24,000 hectares of land. Kayla Hounsell spoke with some people who are finally starting to rebuild and who have advice for anyone facing a similar road ahead.
Around here, this is a sign of progress.
We've been getting into the process of rebuilding. That's been slow initially, but it's coming along.
Brianne Carlson was among 150 homeowners in the Halifax area who lost everything when fire tore through at the end of May. Since then, the debris has been cleaned up, the foundation removed, the soil tested for contaminants.
You don't always know what questions to ask.
She's hoping her experience, terrible as it was, will help others just getting the devastating news they've lost their homes. She says acting quickly is the first step.
We were able to contact a builder and get them on board by that evening, so within 24 hours.
Experts say documenting every step of the process will also help.
Keep a copy of receipts. Be very careful to write down as much as you remember about all the things that were with your property before.
I didn't realize how much work it would be.
Ben McDonald lost his home in the Nova Scotia wildfires too. He warns coming up with that list of contents took more than 50 hours.
I think it's super important to request or even demand your adjuster to be local.
McDonald says in his experience, local insurance adjusters are vital because they have contacts with local restoration companies, which can speed things up. He also advises people to ask for a complete copy of their insurance policy, around 70 pages, not the 10-page summary many receive. And finally, find a support group.
One of the things that we found challenging at the start was we were not used to being the people that, needed help and needed to ask for help. And so getting comfortable with asking for help and taking it when you can get it is super important.
It is progress.
Both he and Carlson are hoping to be in their new homes by next summer. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Halifax.
There are early signs we've already entered a fall wave of COVID-19. Infections appear to be ticking up, so are hospitalizations. But with an updated booster shot still weeks away, Lauren Pelly looks at the advice tonight for Canadians.
I don't want to get sick.
59-year-old Edwina Thomas got her last COVID vaccine almost a year ago. With infection rates rising again, she wants another shot before going back to her job as a school librarian.
I think it's just going to go through us like a tidal wave.
But federal officials say it could still be several weeks before updated shots are approved and rolling out to the provinces.
It is a difficult period, there is no doubt.
Chief Public Health Officer Dr. Teresa Tam says anytime there are new vaccine formulations, Health Canada has to make sure they're both safe and effective.
And that process takes time.
The guidance for most Canadians is to simply wait for the newest versions. They're more tailored to the virus variants circulating right now.
Just waiting is difficult, irritating, uncertain, but still the best thing to do.
This physician recommends spacing out your next shot 6 months or so after your last vaccine or infection. That's because even though antibodies to ward off reinfection will fade over time, deeper protection against serious illness will last longer.
Those of us who've had, 4, 5, 6 doses of vaccine, and most of us have had an infection by now, are pretty well protected.
But that advice isn't one size fits all. Experts say anyone who is pregnant, older adults, or people with other serious health issues may benefit from having another shot sooner, and healthcare providers should consider those requests.
People who are at especially high risk of severe outcomes may wish to consult their physician about whether or not the risk-benefit equation sways for them towards getting an earlier but older shot in advance of a new wave popping up.
So, Lauren, unfortunately, it sounds like it's shaping up to be a busy season, and not just for COVID, for other respiratory illnesses too.
Absolutely. And when it comes to COVID, when you're timing that next shot, consider your risk level and when you were last exposed to the virus from a vaccination or an infection. And when you're looking at getting that booster, you can also get it at the same time as your flu shot. I've heard this from several experts now, that if you want to make it quick and easy for yourself, just get them both at the same appointment.
Get it over with.
Exactly.
All right, Lauren Pelly, thank you.
Thank you.
Fall also means back to school, and in Quebec, that's just days away. But there's a major issue. The province says it's still short more than 8,000 teachers. Alison Northcott with a plan to get at least one adult in every classroom.
I think all parents should be worried.
Catherine Korakakis says her daughter didn't have a permanent teacher for most of last year. Now she's worried about what this school year will bring.
Substitutes are not allowed to grade, and they're not allowed to meet with parents. So you don't know how your kid's doing.
Quebec is scrambling to fill more than 8,000 teaching jobs with just days to go. The education minister says people without a teacher's license are eligible if they have a university degree or a college diploma.
If I cannot find such a person, then yes, I may have to resort to an adult. But in the past, there's been very, very, very few such cases.
The premier is asking retired teachers to return and says salaries have been boosted. Quebec is also offering a bursary for education students.
We've put a lot of measures in place since 4 years and a half.
But some teachers say there's still a long way to go.
Their working conditions, they're not great, right? It seems like growing class sizes, a much higher need for support, more demands on our time.
Fatima Anvari says she had to leave her teaching position because she wears a hijab. Under Quebec's secularism law, new teachers aren't allowed to wear religious symbols at work.
There are people who are capable and skillful and able to teach that they are not allowed to just because of their identity.
There are teacher shortages nationwide.
And a lot of contributing factors, from the way schools are organized to working conditions and salaries, says this professor.
And teachers need all the support and respect that we can give them, and they don't always get that. And that is resulting in some people leaving the profession.
The education minister says he's optimistic more positions will be filled before school starts next week. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
In southwestern Ontario, the cleanup is underway after a once-in-a-century rainfall triggered widespread flooding. Many roads were closed, including a major highway near London. Many people also reported flooding in their homes and basements, and there's more rain in the forecast. Meanwhile, south of the border.
It is awful. It is icky, it's hot. I'm ready to be inside.
More than 100 million people are under heat alerts across the central and eastern U.S. They've been dealing with a stubborn heat dome for 3 days now. Some states have seen triple-digit temperatures in Fahrenheit, of course, but there may be some relief for some over the weekend. Now, China is retaliating tonight after Japan started releasing treated radioactive wastewater into the Pacific. The water comes from the Fukushima nuclear plant that was destroyed in the 2011 tsunami. The UN says the release is safe, but as Chris Reyes tells us, Beijing is not alone in raising concerns.
It looks harmless enough. Clear water flowing into the Pacific. What you can't see is that it's radioactive and coming from the site of the second biggest nuclear disaster in history. Destroyed in 2011 by an earthquake-triggered tsunami. The meltdown was massive. The hydrogen explosions, heart-stopping. All over the region, outrage over the plan. Some of those protests leading to arrests as the release went ahead. From China, a strong condemnation, including a ban on all Japanese seafood. This Korean fisherwoman worries for her livelihood and believes the sea will be devastated.
I think the greater concerns are especially around the fishing industry, that, simply by saying that you're going to put radioactive water into the fishing area, that nobody's going to buy those fish.
Japan insists they've been diligent in treating the water and meeting the World Health Organization's standards for safe levels of the radioactive material tritium. The UN's nuclear watchdog, the IAEA, has also given the green light. for this first phase of release. 1 million metric tons of water over 17 days. This marine biologist has read through Japan's safety reports. He's not convinced.
In reviewing the science that's been done, they provided a document called the Radiological Ecological Impact Assessment, and it's terribly flawed. Key data are missing. Experiments were poorly designed.
For now, the fight is not over. Japan says the discharge of the radioactive water will be slow and monitored, a process that could take 30 to 40 years to complete. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
Back here at home, a lot of Taylor Swift fans are still hoping to score tickets for one of her 6 Toronto concerts. But she isn't the only big name who's playing multiple shows in major cities. Why the big stars are making fans come to them. Next. Why more parents are struggling to buy back-to-school basics.
Everything costs a lot. It's overpriced, everything.
And how to stretch your dollars. Plus, a proposal on the finish line.
What I want to know is, did he carry that ring the entire competition?
We're back in 2.
Hopefully I'll come back and see you another day, and my deepest apologies.
Rod Stewart is very sorry, Saskatoon. The rocker posted an apology on social media after canceling his weekend show at the last minute. He blamed it on a vocal cord injury suffered during his warm-up. This is the second time in less than a year that Sir Rod has had to bail on Saskatoon. The first time was because of production issues. So Rod Stewart was supposed to just play one night in Saskatoon, but other big names like Taylor Swift are touring a bit differently since the pandemic. They're setting up shop and performing multiple shows in the same city. Eli Glasner looks at why.
2 different artists with different styles. But both now part of a new trend. From Taylor Swift to Harry Styles and BTS, more artists are playing at so-called mini-residencies, multiple days at the same venue.
I think we all wish we could do this more.
In December, the weather station will play 3 nights in Toronto. Well, the lead singer realizes she's asking a lot of fans. She says touring asks a lot from musicians.
You're often very tired, and you're trying to put on a great show in a little club somewhere in Denver, and you know that, it's not what you wanted to do.
While inflation takes a bite out of band profits.
I had all my tours booked in 2020, and then they didn't happen until 2022. And the budget changed so much because everything just got more expensive.
Sing this one with me, okay?
Last April, Montreal's Busty and the Bass camped out in Toronto for 4 days.
There were people that flew in from the States, and they just wanted the opportunity to come back like night after night.
Concert promoter John Meglin remembers the reaction in 2003 when Celine Dion decided to create a show in Vegas.
Oh, everybody thought we were crazy.
Now everyone from Usher to Shania Twain are following her lead.
If you have a very, very big production, it's very expensive to move around the country doing one-nighters.
The economics.
With the climate crisis and rising costs, some think staying local could be the future.
The ability to constantly be in a different city every night is not going to continue forever.
While others say nothing replicates meeting music fans where they live.
Halifax, Ottawa's, and Winnipeg's.
Why is that better in your mind than 6 nights in Toronto?
Because it builds a base everywhere around.
Post-pandemic, rising ticket sales suggest fans are rekindling their love affair with live music.
We are seeing so much attraction and engagement at all levels of the industry, which is really exciting.
There's new audiences and new fans in every city you go to.
A hunger to connect with artists wherever they play. Eli Glasner, CBC News, Toronto.
We have more ahead, including a closer look at crucial technology being used to fight the war in Ukraine.
It's probably a 1 kilogram weight only.
Oh yeah, it is really light.
Briar Stewart reveals the changing reality of warfare and the Ukrainians building the drones behind it. Plus, a roadmap for change that could save lives.
It results in arguments between families, arguments between patients and their physicians. No one wants to speak about it.
A new way to persuade dementia patients to stop getting behind the wheel. The National takes you deeper into the story shaping our world. Next. Four school workers were killed in a Russian strike on a Ukrainian school yesterday. 4 others were wounded. Now, that attack was carried out by a Russian drone. This comes just 1 day after reports of Ukraine using its drones to destroy at least one Russian long-range bomber with nuclear capabilities, part of a campaign of Ukrainian drone attacks. So in this conflict, drones are a major player, helping to change the odds for a country still heavily outgunned. Tonight, we're revisiting Briar Stewart's story from earlier this year, showing us how Ukraine is relying on its own ingenuity and friends in other countries to get an edge in the drone war. And a warning, some of the video in the story is disturbing to watch.
So see here the 2 drones flying together. You have one with a day camera with zoom.
Right, there we are. Far from the front lines, a demonstration of how drones are changing the way war is waged. These aerial surveillance drones are being used to detect Russian targets in Ukraine. Here in Latvia, they're hovering above our CBC crew.
So it could track Corinne, the producer here.
Yeah.
Hey, Corinne, walk around. The drone's tracking you.
The drones measure the frosty winter temperature.
It's cold outside, huh?
Hundreds of these are already at work in the skies above Ukraine, part of a growing, evolving fleet.
It's a game changer for the war, because what we see now happening in Ukraine definitely is going to be future war, going to be belong to the drones.
This company is called Atlas Aerospace, and before the invasion, it was primarily focused on search and rescue drones. But now nearly all of its production is headed to Ukraine. Its drone kits cost around 30,000 Canadian. This is a promotional video taken in the western part of Ukraine, but it's in the east where they're being deployed. Like other surveillance drones, they're given to teams who use them to detect Russian forces and relay those coordinates to artillery units.
It's probably a 1 kilogram weight only.
Oh yeah, it is really light. Atlas and its contract for Ukraine is like an intersection of the CEO's past life. Ivan Tolchinsky spent most of his childhood in eastern Ukraine, but it was in Israel where he studied and later fought as a sniper in Lebanon.
So we have 2 first stations going to be sub-assembly.
He has an engineering and military background, and now he's working with employees who have neither.
We have 29 women here, so all of them coming from Ukraine.
On this assembly line, where a sterile, clean environment is key, all of its workers are Ukrainian refugees. Alexandra Lievskovits used to work in a factory making bread. Now she's putting together her second drone. In the beginning, everything was hard, she says. It was all new to me, new vocabulary. But now with each day, I'm learning more and more. The team here really helps.
On the production floor, one of the biggest challenges was actually the language barrier. None of these women speak English, and that's the language the directions are printed in, so the company added step-by-step photos for them to follow.
Most of the women here fled Ukraine with their children and had to leave their husbands and other relatives behind. It's painful to be apart, but this work helps Yulia Zaretskaya, a former librarian, feel connected to the fight at home. My brother is there in the war, she says. I'm doing this and think, well, maybe it will help in some way. Maybe this will bring victory closer. Drones have become increasingly important for both Ukraine and Russia. Even cheaper consumer models are being used en masse. Some are retrofitted with small grenades to attack soldiers in trenches deep in enemy territory. The recordings which circulate online are often disturbing. They show an up-close look at the harsh reality of war and death by remote control. Others are being used on bigger targets. This video reportedly shows a Ukrainian sea drone skimming on top of the water, escaping fire before it hits Russia's Black Sea fleet. And then there are the drones Russia is using to attack Ukraine's power grid. Inside this room in Kyiv, a Special Forces soldier shows a crew working for CBC some of the drones that Ukraine has managed to bring down. He didn't want to show his face. These drones are Iranian-made, but Ukraine discovered they also contain parts from Western countries, whose technology has made its way into lethal drones being used against Ukraine. These antenna components and this engine were both made by Canadian companies. They say their technology is widely distributed and they're not aware how their parts ended up in these drones. Russia is using it because they're cheap. Compared to missiles, they're cheaper, says the soldier. The self-destructing kamikaze drones are cheaper to launch than shoot down with air defense systems. He says they're now seeing fewer of them because they struggle to operate in frigid temperatures. But that doesn't mean a reprieve for Ukrainian cities and the country's power grid. This interview was briefly interrupted by a blackout. When the lights were back on, the soldier said Ukraine is currently working on its own model of the kamikaze drone. I hope we'll use them, he says. I think that will change the role of our game on the battlefield.
This has been a real hothouse for drone development.
David Hambling is a technology journalist and has written a book about drone warfare. He says smaller, relatively inexpensive drones are changing the cost equation when it comes to weaponry, and they're rapidly becoming more sophisticated. What are companies and drone makers trying to achieve here?
Possibly the biggest shift we're going to see shortly is going to be with autonomous drones. This is a technology which the Ukrainians already have to some degree. They've got drones which have got onboard intelligence, so they're capable of finding and identifying targets on the ground. The next step will be a drone which can not only find a target, but which also has permission to engage it.
Right now, drones can be jammed, which disrupts communication between it and the operators on the ground. But in the near future, swarms of drones could be deployed together, communicating directly with each other.
So it's like with a flock of birds, they all see where each other are and they all avoid each other, and they're all capable of cooperating.
And that's Atlas's new project, technology that could see 50 drones launched at once.
What we're looking for the next year is going to be like fully autonomous drones who are going to be independent.
But for now, they're pumping out their current model as fast as they can and expect that over the months ahead, they'll be shipping several hundred more to the front lines in Ukraine.
Now, since we first showed you that story, that Latvian drone company Atlas Dynamics has started building a manufacturing plant in Ukraine in collaboration with the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense. The precise location of the plant is being withheld by the company for safety reasons. There is a difficult conversation about driving that many families are avoiding. Up next, the new tool that's helping dementia patients decide not to drive. And why more parents are feeling the back-to-school squeeze and how you can cut back on your spending. Tonight, we're showing you some new ways to help you raise a very delicate subject. This video reenactment is part of it, highlighting how drivers with dementia become more dangerous as their disease advances. So 2 Canadian doctors spent years compiling tools that help those drivers come to terms with giving up that freedom in the name of safety. And it's a growing issue. The number of Canadians with dementia is expected to double by 2030. Earlier this year, Christine Birak spoke with the experts to learn how best to reach out to someone you're worried about.
Driving is one of the most mentally complex things we regularly do. It takes focus, split-second decision-making, and memory. As we age, those skills tend to decline. For people with dementia, including Alzheimer's, driving becomes much more dangerous with time. Researchers project nearly 1 million Canadians will be living with dementia by 2030. The hard part is knowing when someone should stop driving and how to tell them.
It results in arguments between families, arguments between patients and their physicians. No one wants to speak about it.
Dr. Gary Nagley is the chief of staff at Baycrest, a center for geriatric care in Toronto. He often sees patients with severe dementia. If they're still driving, he suspends their license on the spot.
I've been fired more than once by patients. They get very angry because they don't really understand what's happening. And that's because we've all avoided talking about it until it's gotten too late.
Too late to make them part of the decision-making process. For most people, driving isn't just about getting from point A to point B. It's often intertwined with our sense of independence, freedom, and competence.
Many people view this as my life is going to stop as I know it the minute that my license gets suspended. And we have to give them the confidence that that's not the case.
Family members of people.
To do that, he joined forces with Dr. Mark Rappaport.
We wanted to help allow people to plan in advance.
Dr. Rappaport is the acting head of geriatric psychiatry at Toronto Sunnybrook Hospital. With the help of a team, he and Dr. Nagley recently launched drivinganddementia.ca.
The website is set up with 3 portals.
One speaks directly to people with dementia. Another is for family and friends. There's also a portal for healthcare providers. Each offers evidence-based strategies for when, why, and how to help, including videos.
You have to give me your keys.
So far, most visitors to the website have been family members looking for advice on starting the conversation about driving and warning signs that it may be time to stop.
Look for red flags. Look for difficulty making turns, difficulty changing lanes, difficulty maintaining speed.
I learned to drive this old Ford at age 12, and I loved it.
Remember, we used to leave on a Friday.
As a young man, Ron Posno also learned to fly. An incident cost him his vision in one eye 50 years ago, but he says his brain was always wired for highly technical tasks. Then, in his mid-70s, things started changing.
Something was affecting how I was processing information, and particularly how I could remember how to do this or that or whatever.
He was diagnosed with dementia in 2016.
We couldn't live with ourselves if kids got hurt.
Now 83, he recently gave up his license after watching a video on the dementia and driving site and a scary incident outside his building.
I turned my head back to look at where I was supposed to go, and 2 little kids, about 10, 12 years old, rushed by the front of the car on their bicycles. They were just suddenly there. Well, that terrified me, because if I had started, I would have run into it, no question.
But not everyone with dementia willingly hands over their keys, even after a doctor tells them to. Instead, some patients head to an assessment center.
Our goal, and we tell them right from the get-go, that we're on their side. We want them to do as well as they can.
Nell Marie Hyde is an occupational therapist. For about $500, patients can privately retest their driving skills.
What did you see inside the white box? They would say it was a car, so they would touch car.
Cognitive tests check attention, memory, and speed of decision making. And there's a road test.
At the first street up ahead, we're going to make another right turn.
Ultimately, coming up with a new transportation plan for getting around is key.
There's life after driving, and that we can help support the transition such that it's not as awful as they perceive it to be.
Since Posno stopped driving, friends and neighbors have stepped up, along with his wife, Sandy.
It does change your life, but we can do it, and there's all kinds of resources.
While he misses sitting behind the wheel, Posno says he has no regrets.
I couldn't stand the idea of me hurting somebody with my driving.
Since Christine Birak's story first aired earlier this year, the WHO has listed drivinganddementia.ca as a global resource for people with dementia. More than 76,000 people have visited it, with the top users being family members of people living with dementia. Next, how two world-class athletes surprised everyone by getting engaged at the finish line. Plus,
Cameron Rogers wins the gold medal in the women's hammerthrow.
Rewriting the Canadian record books with one toss in our moment.
I'm Tamara Kendacker. Tomorrow on CBC's daily news podcast Front Burner, the rise of sunscreen as a skincare must-have and the fight for better SPF options in North America. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube.
Back to school shopping is in full gear, and with stubbornly high inflation, a lot of that gear is costly. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson now on how some parents are navigating the high price of school supplies and necessities.
My daughter told me she needs more notebooks. Look at this, notebook, right? You know, she's always like, I need more crayons.
Whether it comes to his clients or his daughter starting grade 1, this financial expert offers the same advice.
You know, the number one tip I always tell people is to make a list, because quite often your kids will tell you something that they need, and when you actually check it out, they've already got it.
You want paper? Canadians are looking for ways to buy school supplies on a budget. According to a small survey, 27% of parents say they will purchase fewer back-to-school supplies for their children this year compared to previous years due to inflation. The same survey found that 53% of parents plan to shop during sales.
Everything costs a lot. It's overpriced, everything. Especially being a single mom, it's hard.
One solution for parents like Natasha Kinslow is turning to a clothing swap at a local library.
I think events like this help because everybody participates. And also thrifting has become really cool, especially for teenagers.
Backpack programs have also been a hit. The Owen Hart Foundation in Calgary donated 850 backpacks pre-filled with school supplies last year. This year, they gave away 1,500. At the school in Moncton, donated backpacks, books, and clothes have all found new homes, says this principal.
It was a humbling feeling to see that there was a bunch of people that we knew that we were going to support. It was open from 9 to 12. By 10:30, we didn't have many clothes left.
I got a bunch of folders.
As their children head back to class, Canadian parents get creative to pass their own test, buy back-to-school stuff without breaking the bank. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
For two Slovakian athletes at the World Athletic Championships in Budapest, their finish was a lot more memorable than where they placed.
Very happy couple after the finish line here in Budapest, and they are going to get married.
There you go, no medals at the end of this race. Instead, a ring and a question. Her answer, yes, thankfully. There's no date yet for her next big walk down the aisle, and this wasn't the only golden moment from today's competitions. Canadian Cameron Rogers is celebrating a big win tonight. She earned a historic gold medal in the hammerthrow, making her the first Canadian woman to win a world title in 20 years. So CBC caught up with her in Budapest following her victory, and tonight her pure podium joy makes our moment.
Rogers goes into the lead over 77 metres. This is just for fun. This is just the icing on the gold medal winning cake. Rogers is in dreamland, and what a night for this shining star from Canada.
I mean, what an incredible and magical night with, I think, the best people, and I feel like I'm a little bit speechless right now. I think the moment that it was over and I stepped out of the ring, that's the moment where it really fully kind of hit me, and then it was hugs everywhere.
What a moment for Canada. Cameron Rogers, the emotion that is outpouring from these athletes.
And knowing that I was able to bring this medal home, you know, for my country and for my support system, for my family, my friends, my coach, it's just the best feeling in the world.
But there's your winner. It's a night that's all about the Canadian. Cameron Rogers wins the gold medal in the women's hammerthrow.
You know it's a special sport when it's your competitors giving you hugs like that. So Cameron says her mom, Sherry, is probably crying. You're probably right there. And that her mom's a hairdresser, and that it was one of her mom's clients who actually said, you know, Cameron will be pretty good at the hammer throw. So thanks to her. That is the National for Thursday, August 24th. Have a good night.